This is absolutely Essendon off-season ramblings, part 5. I'm pretty sure we're up to. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in once again. One of us is a little underdressed, and another one of us looks like he has a court appearance. Is that the restraining order? You still struggling to get that lifted?
No, I've been charged with crimes against YouTube content creators. So,
case closed.
Someone said, "Yeah, don't like the sound of that."
Yeah,
we're going to file a lawsuit against the guy.
Right.
Excuse me. And saw the magistrate this morning, and he said, "Love the channel. It's gold, comedy gold," he said.
Right. Did he?
1,600 hours of community service. So I'll be digging ditches somewhere close to where you are soon. And,
well, just as well
put the threads away. I'm hiring this, by the way.
Sure.
I nipped down to St. Vincent de Paul and said, "What have you got?" Yep. Something which looks a bit from the Gatsby era, and this is what they gave me.
No, very nice, mate.
Yep,
I'm sure you made a very positive impression.
No, look, in all honesty, jokes aside, I do have to earn a living, and this program clearly doesn't do that. And as such, I have
never will.
I have raced in to do the recording from my 64th floor corner office in Collins Street, where I broke shares.
He doesn't. He wouldn't have a clue how to buy a share.
No idea.
No, but
wouldn't have a clue how to tip a winning football team either. So they sort of go hand in hand, don't they?
Anyway, but good to have you.
Thank you. I do apologise for the attire. I hope this is not offensive to anybody.
Yes,
you know what the world's like today.
We should put a warning probably underneath.
Probably treating all the feminazis at the moment with this sort of male
patriarchal
sort of power dressing. So I do apologise to all of our...
Good. Nicely done. Right, well, we have a lot to cover today. You'd think not, but all right, maybe not a lot.
I'm possibly very interested to see what you've got on the running sheet for today.
I'm possibly rounding up, but there has been a little bit of news trickling out of Bomberland, so I thought, we'd cover it. But first of all, thank you to everyone that tuned in last week, especially to all those people that commented. A lot of funny stuff in there. We find it very entertaining. Just want to let you know that we appreciate it. Even the gentleman that watches us on his 85-inch screen.
Yeah.
Hey, he'll get good value out of you.
I'll tell you, well, I'm probably
there you go.
Subconsciously responding to his comment where he in fact stated that he loved watching the show up on the 85-incher.
That's very disconcerting.
And that would mean your head's probably about that big.
I know.
Well, actually, that's normal then, isn't it?
But it's very disconcerting because I feel comfortable in the knowledge that people are just watching it on their phone, stuck on a tram,
not looking at all the blemishes and the pimples.
Just like there's just a loose image of a couple of turkeys.
Look, pride in one's personal appearance goes out the window when you're a successful YouTube creator.
Right.
It just comes with the turf. You've got to learn to live with that level of scrutiny.
Right.
Everything you do, everything you say, everything you choose to wear.
Right.
I'm sure we'll see a lot of Essendon fans rushing out to Country Road.
Right.
Straight after they've seen this episode to snap up a nice navy suit.
Country Road.
Well, this one's not Country Road, of
Peter
course.
Jackson.
Not quite. I said St. Vincent de Paul.
Right. Okay.
But we are influencers, and with that comes responsibility.
I would imagine our influence count is incredibly low, mate. Which brings us to the point of delusion.
Yes.
And peak delusion, because that generated a lot of discussion as well amongst our comments and differing points of view. One viewer suggested that it's straight after Christmas, before the players have had a chance to injure themselves.
To ruin their careers.
That's right.
To shatter their limbs.
Before the hammer has taken effect. And I thought that was quite good. However, we had a bit of an injury update yesterday. So,
well, just on delusion for a second before we get into the injury update, I was watching another AFL YouTube channel. I'm sorry, I can't remember what it's called, but I believe the host's name is Jesse.
Right.
Lovely young man. This is clearly a young man's game.
Very much so.
But Jesse, he covers all things. I think he's a West Coast Eagles fan himself.
Is he?
But he did an incredible video where he predicted the winner of every single game of the coming season, the 2024 season.
Using a special algorithm or just plucking it out of his arse.com?
Well, I think there was a bit of arse plucking.
Right.
But yeah, using a ladder predictor. And he had us at 0-7.
Right. After the first few
After
weeks.
the first, well, obviously 7 rounds. And
Right.
I switched off. Well, I didn't switch off. I left some nasty comments.
Did you?
And then switched off.
Like people leave for us.
But the delusion is an interesting point because he had every justification behind having us 0-7. And I mean, some of it was possibly a little off target, but in general, he had some rationale behind his selections. So, yeah, I mean, it just depends. Your perspective is very, very critical in terms of where your delusional levels are. And as Essendon supporters who've been starved of success,
We have been starved.
We're
emaciated.
We get very woody at the sight of a slightly increased bicep size from Harry Jones, don't we? That's almost like clear the lockers. We're going to be putting the 17th trophy in next year because Harrison Jones looks like he can walk again, which is great.
And our new recruits from the draft just seem to get better every day as we watch more and more clips of them in the VFL or wherever it is. They just look like they hold so much potential.
Well, they had Nate Caddy highlighted in an image on the Essendon website or Instagram page, leading all comers across the finish line in the 2K time trial.
Did they tell him just hold back a bit, boys?
Just give him a length or two. There was a few guys in the background sort of telling the rest of the group to slow it down. Let's make sure Nate finishes first, and he did. But and he probably feels very good about that too. You know, when you're new, you'd like to have some early wins, and he definitely
get some
had
runs
that.
on the board. Yeah.
But on that point, let's talk about the training has started again, and
it has.
It's great to see the injury reports already coming out.
It has. A couple of them surprised me, and again, just some of the language is just already just a little opaque. That's all. Just a little.
No, there's no transparency down at that club. The club where Dean Wallace famously lost the important spreadsheet back in the days of Stephen Dank and the Weapon.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
We're not good at transparency.
Really? What was on that spreadsheet?
Lots of stuff that probably is very damning.
Right.
But
okay.
That's for another discussion. But
sure,
in terms of the injury list, well, it's mounting at a pretty impressive rate. It sort of almost goes beyond the normal Essendon kill rate. But I'm just curious to see that Ben Mackay's now been listed with a knee injury.
Yeah.
What was that? He stumbled on the first step when he walked into the hangar. The hangar knows.
Yeah.
The hangar's like the Amityville horror.
Yeah. Yes.
Get out. You know that? You remember that? Is that a more recent film reference?
That is.
They did a remake.
It's within 30 years. I'll take it.
But you remember when he was in the house and would,
get
out. That's what the hangar was saying to Ben Mackay when he did his knee.
You're right. You think?
What else is there?
But what? Because he's come from another club.
We need to get down there and hang some garlic from the wall. Because also Xavier Dersma has now only got a hip injury.
Where has that come from? Hang on. No, but is that the injury that has sort of kept him on the sidelines for a fair proportion of the season over at Port Adelaide? Yeah. Was that hip or was that something else?
Well, the idea is
freshie?
If you know the guy's got a chronic injury, you don't recruit them.
Right.
That's generally the rule, but anyway, he's there. Stringer, well, we all know about Jakey. He's never fit. And Peter Wright, both of those two boys carrying foot injuries.
Right.
They need to get the Dr. Skulls out, those two.
So Peter Wright, is it his kicking foot or non-kicking foot, non-preferred foot? We need to know, don't you think?
I suppose it does matter, doesn't it?
Let's hope he does recover from
Shield
that.
and Draper, what's the news on those two?
Well, Draper is looking...
Career over?
Towards returning to full training late January.
Which year?
So
and Shield?
So hopefully he'll be back in full training in February, which would suggest he's not going to be back. He's not going to be playing probably for a bit of time after that. The Shield, I'm not sure.
I tell you, Goldie's going to have to get some new footy boots. Yeah. He's going to be playing a bit of football next year.
He'll be thrashed. Vigo, bring Vigo in.
Vigo might even get a run. But Sammy Draper, R.I.P.
Do you think
R.I.P. He's going down the Joe Danaher groin
Yes. Oh, that's right. It's off-season groin surgery. Right, okay.
Yeah.
So,
he'll be over in Ireland having his groin tested.
Okay.
As Joey did, and
all right.
we all know how well that went.
Dylan Shearer's his foot.
Another foot?
No. He's had post-season foot and knee surgery. So, is that the same leg, do you think?
As the one he had, or you mean, in terms of
the
foot and knee?
Yeah.
Well, you know what
I mean?
they say about the foot bones connected to the knee bone. So I'm guessing it is.
Stick around here for our technical medical news.
So look, I guess none of it's kind of dramatic, but it just does. And look, all clubs go through it, and we're not alone, and we know that, guys. So
we do know that.
No need for any hostile remarks about, you guys, every club.
You're so negative.
We're so negative. We understand, but we've got to, talk about something, and this is about it. So you come on here and try and make a 30-minute show out of Ben Mackay's knee. Good luck. Have fun with that. We're doing all right. So typical injuries, but I think the good. Let's talk positive, because I know our adoring fans want to hear a bit of positivity.
Yeah.
Harrison Jones, I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Someone posted on Twitter X a comparison photograph of his biceps at the beginning of 2021,
right,
and his biceps today.
All right, what are we talking?
And you're talking quail to rooster.
Really?
In terms of a comparison. He's put on some size. And, I think it's great because he could be anything. I'll always remember Matthew Lloyd saying a couple of years ago in regards to Harrison Ford, just have a look at the width of his shoulders.
Right.
Now, they were pretty scrawny shoulders.
Were they?
But they
Slightly
were
rounded?
wide. They were an axe handle at least.
Right.
So I'm really excited because if you can get Harrison Jones, Kyle Langford... Imagine if Nate Caddy comes on.
Oh.
And there's Jaden Hunter as well in the background, who was the mid recruit.
Yes,
Looks
let's not
fantastic.
forget about him.
So there's some exciting stuff happening there. But a lot of the boys, Zach Reed looks like a beast now.
Does he?
And, of course, we talked about Sam Durham, who's gone full werewolf mode in his pre-season.
He has indeed. There was a snippet. Speaking of Sam Durham, I think on the Essendon side they did a training run, and he was talking himself.
Oh, he was mic'd up, was he?
Yeah, he was, but talking himself up prior to the run.
Himself up.
Yes. What he was going to do, he's going to sit back in the forward pack, then make his move towards the end. And you know what? He delivered the kid. I'll give it to him.
What, did they all slow down for him as well?
He did, yeah. They did. They're hanging back.
Well, they have to, because it's all propaganda videos, right?
Yes, it is at this point.
What else? So he crossed the finish line and was high-fiving.
Just ahead of Mason Redmond. Yeah, look, he was very happy. And he got the blessing from the great Kyle Langford as well, who's just sort of standing back going, mate, good run, buddy.
Jesus.
Good run. Hey?
Just a nod and a wink.
That's right, yes. I don't need to run, I'll just kick 55 goals, but for
how amazing
good running
has Kyle Langford's transformation been from whipping boy
to
whipping boy,
yes,
as Stewie would say, if you know, you know, and to legend.
Yeah.
Almost legend. That moustache just sort of flutters in the breeze now.
It does.
A la Biggles. And he's almost become Yoda-like.
Yeah. He's got nothing to prove on the track. He just sits back and just offers little bits of advice.
He's like a Roman emperor.
He'll whisper in your ear.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. But he certainly gave Sammy Durham the thumbs up. And Durham looked like he'd had a session with Santa Claus when Langers gave him the nod of approval. You could see the young lad's face just lit up.
Yes. Well, hopefully he's an inspiration of what can happen very quickly, what you can do.
Yeah, well,
how things can turn for the positive.
Putting muscle on is probably the easy bit.
Hey, nailing one from
getting the ball
48 metres out,
popping it on
20-degree
on a
angle.
teammate's chest.
That's right.
Not the opposition's chest. Yeah, there's a few little technical things they need to deal with as well. But they're certainly looking like beasts. I mean, we've talked about this throughout the off-season ramblings. The call out from Scotty at the end of the 23 season about these boys living an AFL lifestyle. I mean, they've taken that to heart.
Yeah.
They have taken it to heart. And
it certainly seems like it.
They're like the karate. Oh, it's Karate Kid. I mean, again, I'm sorry. It's like, how old's that?
It's 1984.
All right. Well, that's the problem.
That's just nudging 40
The cinema
years.
industry is shit now. I want to talk about some movies because we are going to morph into a movie review channel. I went and saw Napoleon.
Right. Okay.
During the week.
Right. Feel free to go make yourselves a cup of coffee. But Napoleon, because it's had a lot of hype.
A lot of hype.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Whack him over the head, I would say.
The great Ridley Scott.
Not so great.
They've collaborated previously.
Yes, they have. And they should have stopped at the first one.
Right.
And I'm going to be quite honest and say, if you haven't already parted with your $40, hold on to it.
Right.
Not a film I would be recommending to history buffs.
Really?
Of which, as you know, I am one.
Yes. Oh, I know. I am aware.
It portrays... The only interesting thing about the movie, honestly speaking, because it completely butchered history.
Right. Yes, apparently they took some...
Ridley Scott's very, very defensive. But the interesting thing was, and I don't know where it came into the sort of thinking here, but whenever Napoleon felt like having a little moment with Josephine, and by that I mean a sexual liaison, he started sort of like quacking like a duck.
Right.
Or sit like... If you've seen the film, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And I thought, well, that's the only takeout that I've got from that movie. And it is.
Right.
That is a film I'd be avoiding. 1 out of 5. I don't know what you would give it.
Well, I haven't seen it, but I would imagine if I were to venture a guess, it's Joaquin Phoenix playing Joaquin Phoenix.
And he does that extremely well.
Oh, he's really good at it.
There was a
sort of the misery guts, somber, sort of listless.
He's definitely up for a Joaquin in the awards season.
Give him another Joaquin.
He can take home a Joaquin for best Joaquining.
All right, okay.
All right, moving along.
Well, I might recommend a movie now.
Please do. Why not? I mean, I've got nothing else to talk about. So Ben Mackay's knee done.
No, don't. I need more time. I'm just trying to think.
I thought you had one.
No, I hadn't. I've got a TV series for you, though.
Yeah.
Shrinking. Apple TV.
Right. I think everyone's seen that.
No, they haven't.
Haven't they?
Have you?
No.
Exactly. So we'll just start with you. Jason Segel, Harrison Ford, great comedy. Run, don't walk. Highly recommend.
Are we doing this to help people get through the off season? So we've got to tie it back somehow.
All right. Well, the mental game. Let's talk about the mental game.
I was going to talk about some board games to help get through the lonely days, the lonely weekends.
People have already switched off now.
All right, let's go.
We're down.
We're down to
the last 3 people.
We are.
You'll be very relieved to know that Sam Wiedemann will rejoin main training in January. He's recovering from.
Don't say 24.
He is. He's coming back in 24, mate. He is.
Is there?
It's an Achilles problem.
Is it possible to become the forgotten man after just 12 months in a club?
Oh, highly possible.
I think he has.
Because as fans, we're fickle. We move on very quickly.
Wow. I mean, Sammy Wiedemann, he might want to think about doing a TAFE course. I would imagine. I don't think football's for him.
Right.
But, apparently he's a terrific guy and great to have around the dressing room. So we salute you.
Indeed. What about on a more macro level at the club? Indeed. So we've got the AGM coming up. We've got some board nominations.
Well, as you can see, I'm getting myself ready for a run at the board.
That would you ever accept a position on the board?
There would be some changes.
Really?
There would be a lot of changes.
Well, maybe by 2028.
I am an agent of change.
Let's work towards that, I think.
I might
Can I pull the strings?
I'll be old as Sheedy by that time.
Can I pull the strings from behind?
You do anyway, don't you? It's always been the case. They're behind every great man. Now, the board, there's 3 positions, I think, up for grabs, and our great Kevin Sheedy is one of those. Yeah. And I've noticed he's been out in the media suddenly talking up Brad Scott after last year taking a pot shot.
Always thought that he should have got the job.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Is that a run for a board position or what?
I would have thought so. Look, when we discussed Kevin Sheedy a few weeks ago, most of the comments were pro Kevin
from us. Or from
Yes.
our viewers?
We presented both sides,
Sure.
stay or go, but from our viewers,
tend to be
it was
positive, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, an interesting indication. I think that he's probably going to stay. And what was the stat you wheeled out last week? Or was it the week before? No, it was the week before. Since 1968.
Oh, right, yeah. So since
what's that one again?
1968, the Bombers have only won a final with Kevin Sheedy coaching. So that's almost 60 years.
Now, that's a reference older than 40 years that I will allow on this show.
So I personally don't have a problem with him being voted back in. There's got to be some respect to the guy. I know he's a bit wacky at times. He always has been. He won his 4 premierships being wacky.
Yeah.
And got us into 7 grand finals.
He
so
did.
let's just I love to see him around the club, and we talked about this before. There's about 9 or 10 or even 11 board members at Essendon. They've got a board member for almost every month of the year.
Right.
And if Sheedy's in there, so be it.
Yeah.
That's not going to change things. They still have to vote on things.
Yeah.
They voted on the coaching position. Sheedy was there. He didn't get his way. So at the end of the day, sense will prevail, even if Sheeds is a bit nutty.
Right.
But I love to see him around. And I think, if he was to walk out onto the MCG before Anzac Day in front of 95,000 people, every single one of them would be cheering him, even the Collingwood people.
Yeah.
So
true enough.
Let's keep him going.
Okay, very good. Well,
Others will
now,
disagree with me. They'll think he's a nut. Move him on.
Yeah.
No, I personally don't agree with that.
All right. Okay. So we have another person. I forget his name, but running for a board seat. Now he's anti-pokies.
Yes.
So he's saying we need to get rid of the pokies.
Killjoy.
And the club has responded to him and saying, well, when we find a way to replace that revenue, then great idea. Until then.
Talk about a weak excuse.
Well,
there's a lot of ways you could replace
a couple
that
of clubs have replaced that revenue.
Yeah,
I think it's Geelong and Collingwood. They've managed to do it.
And others. I think others as well.
Really?
But certainly they're high-profile ones that have said no to pokies.
Right. Okay.
And,
so
and they're successful
long
clubs.
term, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So from what you know about our revenue streams, because the problem is that the club, I think, made a loss this year.
Yeah, about a little over $500,000 operating loss this
year.
year.
Why would that be? Obviously, our on-field success has been not.
I think it's called Xavier Campbell, to be honest. But payouts.
Oh, really? To various parties?
Yeah,
people?
And they probably fell into the financial year because, of course, it was in, I think, September last year. So,
right.
So those dismissals, if you can call them that, would have cost a fair chunk of change because Xavier, of course, still had a couple of years to go on his contract, having extended it himself.
Ben Rutten still had another
Rutten, of course,
year.
He had a year to go, probably on $800,000. So and then, of course, there was Andrew Thornburn, who loved the club, but still said, "I think I'll take some money for my inconvenience." After he was told that Jesus was not welcome,
after his full day of service that he provided.
Well, he
to
did
the
a lot
club.
on that day, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a busy day.
He alienated most minority groups around the country in that one day. So well done, Andrew. And he most probably got paid out. If he didn't, good for him.
Right.
We're not saying anything is certain, but there is a reason for our constant drain of cash.
Right.
And I think there was a report out not that long ago.
There was a few months ago. There was an article about the clubs with the highest admin costs, and that we won that one.
Does admin mean like
off-field,
the least well-managed organisation? If you're paying all this sort of these huge sums of money?
Well, it would suggest that, especially if on-field success has been lacking.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're winning, you're putting premierships away, you go, all right, well, that's a cost of doing business.
Well, I think
that you're not,
I think the Magpies have absolutely cleaned up on their flag with the spike in their merchandise sales.
Not surprised.
You can get a Josh Dacos nose now that you can pop on with 2023 written on it. I'm just saying, I mean, it's like you know what I'm saying. That you can buy almost any. My point is that they are selling anything they can to capitalise on their premiership.
Whereas we're probably the only guys that bought the Sam Draper.
There's a backlog of those.
There's a warehouse full of them.
Talking about those, if you actually go online, there's a company that sells these. Have a look at the Dyson Heppel one.
Right,
looks like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh, really?
It's like there is no resemblance whatsoever. There's an Andrew McGrath bobblehead.
Right.
that looks a little bit like Dick Reynolds.
Okay.
I think they might have just grabbed the...
Yeah, okay.
you know, anyway.
Yeah. Let's reuse those Dick Reynolds ones.
We should.
Just
now,
okay.
What else you got?
So that's what's happening down there. Well, apart from that, I don't know what else we can cover today.
Nothing.
Any more movies you want to suggest? I think that's about it. Shall we go back to more injuries?
No, I don't think we want to. Look, I just want to say I'm absolutely thrilled and excited for the coming season, and we have a bit of fun here, you know. So please don't think for a minute we're being deliberately negative.
Yes.
Well, we are, because we're trying to wind you up. But if you have got through that phase of agitation, we are really just looking forward to the season so much.
Very much.
Because frankly speaking, we can't keep making shit up.
Yes, that's right.
So we need a game to review, a best 23 to preview.
Yeah, we do.
We need to bring your
that.
multi back, your Joe's multi-mania back.
Yes. Well, yeah, I don't think anyone's missing that. There's a lot of people being...
Remember Around the Grounds?
Yes. Oh, yeah. What did that happen to
It
Around
just
the
died.
Grounds?
I thought it was fantastic, but it's dead. It's gone. There's no... People haven't said in the comments, where's Around the Grounds, guys?
Not a single person.
Not one.
I forgot about Around the Grounds. I've already forgotten about it.
Yeah, so have I.
It's just a hard world, the world of content creation.
Sure is.
But anyway, we do appreciate those that do tune in at this time of the year, because it's a brutal time.
Are we going to do
a Christmas special?
Christmas special. I think we should. I think we should have our Christmas list. What do we want for Christmas this year? And if you're an Essendon supporter,
right.
In fact, why don't we invite... I'll need to go back to the beginning with this bit, because otherwise no one will be hearing it.
Right.
But we should invite people to list down what do they want Santa to... What does the typical Essendon supporter want Santa to bring them for Christmas this year?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay. So, you know...
I would think, like a fit and healthy Jai Menzie might be someone. There might be someone.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. 4 goal kickers above 40 goals.
Of course, all of that. So anyway, have a think about it. If you can be bothered, let us know. I reckon that's it, mate.
I think that is it. You should get back to the magistrate's court.
The bailiff is actually calling my name now, so I better run.
I think you should. And I'll get back to what I was doing.
You will.
Thanks again.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you.
Bye for now.
We will be back.
We will.
Don't worry. Please don't fret. Bye for now.
See you later.
Bye.
Ta-ta.